These are just common questions that we'll just briefly answer. Like you'll probably get a lot of questions about grammatical issues and don't know what to write and help them to really brainstorm about like different ideas. And also the other thing that are not really frequently mentioned in the Taiwan's context is about plagiarism. Like Sao will also mention, there's a difference between paraphrasing and plagiarism. So I really want you to show students about like the possibility of like why we will consider something as plagiarism and what is academic integrity, this kind of situation, if they do have some concerns about sources and they don't know how to put separate sources or do citation, and that's the time we can also step in and tell them about this kind of concept. And also, so this is the overview of our program. So training is important. So today we're doing this orientation training. And then we're going to have this kind of ongoing training workshops at least once a semester, once a semester. So, and then for the tutoring session, our session will be an hour long. And during this 1 hour session, first of all, you're going to do the session with the students for 15 minutes. So right now we're only working on the writing tutoring, but in the future, we're hoping to provide students with kind of oral presentation tutoring sessions. If we do have that service, we're going to ask you if you're interested in being part of the tutors for that section as well. So if we have any updates, we'll let you know. But right now we're focusing on the writing as our piloting, when we're piloting the whole system. And so during the 15 minutes, you're going to talk through all the writing concerns, issues with the students. And for the last 10 minutes, I want you to complete the tutoring notes, which we're going to send you the link. And while doing it, so this is the time that you will tell students, while for the last 10 minutes of the session, I'm going to write some notes regarding our session. And while I'm doing this, please fill in the student satisfaction survey. So at that time, you need to provide them with a link for the student satisfaction survey, which we're going to also provide you with. So we're going to give you the link for the 2 notes. So one is for you, the other one is for students to fill in, so that we can receive feedback from the students as well as you to record the stuff, like some of the highlights of the session and also your challenges. I'm going to show you the link afterwards if we have time. And for the evaluation, so we want to make sure we provide high quality service to the students, and also we don't want the tutor to take solo responsibility to all the tutoring session and students' feedback. So we're going to do some evaluation, and all these procedures are common evaluation procedures used by all the writing centers. So if you're familiar with like teaching, like from the education field, a lot of time we do teaching observation. So basically we want to make sure that you follow some of the procedures and you have really nice interaction with the students. And also, we also want to know how the students usually respond to this kind of session, because this is all like really new to us. We think students will react in one way, but we don't know in reality maybe they're they might not want to talk about their paper or something. So through this session, it's not just the evaluation of your practice, but more like how students respond to this kind of service as well. So please don't feel nervous when we're trying to say like, oh, we're going to record this session. It's not just about you. So it's more for us to help us to understand the whole situation and how we're going to plan the next step. And then the other thing that is going to be part of the evaluation is the student satisfaction survey. So here, student will complete the survey with you, and then it's like a 5-question, like really easy, like how kind is your tutor, how professional is it, do they provide constructive feedback, do they help you to plan how to revise your paper, this kind of questions. So this is an easy question, but students might have different reaction, like the survey might be like kind of subjective in one way, so this is not the only way that we're going to evaluate you. So if they give you like really bad evaluation, it doesn't mean that you're out of the program. So we're going to have, if we have this recording, we can also refer to that as well. So this is just another source for us to know about how to improve our next step. And also we will ask you to fill in your self-evaluation survey. So after the tutoring notes, you'll have like a really quick self-evaluation survey, how professional you are, So the same question as the one that filled by the students. So this is from your own perspective as well. So these three will be the main way that we evaluate our service and also students' responses. And then like meetings, like we said, after maybe 1 month of service, we can come together and talk about some of the challenges, how we're going to solve problems together, because what we're trying to do here is we want to create this kind of community that we all share our struggles and our strategies that can really help us to improve our service. So the meeting is meant to help us to really know how we can do things better. And so here's the more detail. So if you're interested in the student satisfaction survey, you can just scan the QR code here, and here's the tutoring notes and the self-evaluation survey. And the two links we're going to send another, or like just put it in the line chat, so you'll have all these access when you're doing the sessions. Please remember to fill your own tutoring notes. So for the last 10 minutes, you have to fill in the tutoring notes and the self-evaluation survey, and ask students to complete the student satisfaction survey. So there's the 2 surveys that you will need for the last 10 minutes of your session. And then also for the recording part, we were talking about the technical, how we're going to do it. So we're going to send you another email. But if we cannot ask you to record the session on your own, we might send someone who can record the session to your session. Like if you tell us in advance, oh, today is my second session and I would like to record this session, but I can't do it on my own, then we might send Aaron or me or someone who can record the session to record it for you. So no need to worry about the technical issue. But this will also help me to, for me and our director, to really understand how we can improve things better. Okay, so right now I want to, so we talked about some of the ways to engage students in this kind of dialogic tutoring process. I also have some kind of, I also provide you with some kind of, so if you look at the handout, it's in your handout as well. I'm not going to go through all the things because I have a chart that sort of combining all these together. So these are just really quick things that you can think about when you're looking at students' paper, which type of paper is it, and how you're going to help them to achieve that goal. For example, if it's more critical, you can just look through if they have this perspective and if they share their own perspective when they're doing different kind of academic writing. So you can also refer it, look the original sources from, I think it's Sydney University. They have the full explanations about what are the 4 types of writing. And also here are the common writing issues, like we said, writing, the grammar, and also like drawings, and also audience purpose. And also there might be some disciplinary differences, and also some writing supports. So here are the writing support and resources. So if students come to you and don't know how to do, say they want to check how to use certain preposition, then you can ask them to do like a corpus tool. So this is really easy. So NetSpeak is really easy. There's only 5 operators. You can search for one word. You can search for synonyms. So if students have this kind of question and they would like you to suggest them with some kind of tools, then feel free to use those suggestions for like proofreading, grammar checkers. You don't have to use these if you have your own platforms, and we welcome you to also share those resources with us, and we can maybe combine them in the file and share with all the tutors in the future. Okay, so this is just a cheat sheet that we just mentioned, and now is the tutoring procedures, and I would like to focus on this procedure. So there are 8 steps in total, and you can turn, so you can turn to your page 6. So the reason that I want to focus on this tutoring procedures is because we want even though we all have our style and ways of approaching to students, we want you to have the same procedure so that students will know, okay, even today I went to Aaron, or if I go to Linda, we'll all be greeted by the tutor and we're all having the opportunity to explain what our writing is about. So we want to have this kind of procedure to make sure no matter which tutor that students select, they will get the same procedures. So in the evaluation, like the recording of your tutoring session, this will be something that we focus on. Like, do you do those 8 steps? And if you do that, then we know that we're on the same page, and that's really good for us. So that's just walk you through the process. So the first part is like Saul also mentioned, like we want to read the students and like build that relationship with the students. So give a little bit small talk to them, asking them whether they're having a class today, are you tired, this kind of situation. And then you can ask students to do a brief introduction of the paper and talk about their writing issues. So what is this paper, like which class is it from, and what kind of writing issues do you feel difficulty when you're trying to develop idea, or is it hard for you to identify grammatical issues? So just talk through about their writing issues and what the paper is about. And then the second part is you can identify, like we said, there's different kind of academic type of writing, like we just mentioned, or what are the purpose of the paper, whose audience, is it for the seminar or is it just for a class? So you can talk about the goal, the purpose, what type of writing. And then for the checking part, that's important, like you gather all these information, what the paper is about, who's the student. And then the next thing is you want to rephrase what students' writing issue and set a goal for the session. So say so you're working on a paper for your biology class, and you would like to work on the organization of the paper in today's session, right? So make sure they are on the same page and you have the same goal for today's session. Just set a goal for this session. And then the next part will be you reading through the paper, and some people might do it in advance if they want to prepare. Then this part might be, they will have less time spending on the reading part. And then this will be the most important part, is to really discuss the paper with the students, like what are the strengths and the weakness of the paper. So always give them some like encouragement before giving them criticism, like any criticism. So you can ask clarification question, like what do you mean by this sentence? Can you tell us a little bit more about what you want to say in this sentence? Can you explain more about something? Here's my suggestion, what do you think? So ask them about their feedback through the process, and does it help to revise your paper? And then for the closure, before you give them the survey, ask them about their plan for revision, like what are some of your plans, what's your next step, how are you going to revise the paper, so they know how to revise the paper. And for the tutor, the last 10 minutes, you'll complete your the tutoring notes, and also student will complete the satisfaction survey. And then we're going to provide the links. So for the procedures, anyone have any questions about any of the 8 procedures? Okay, so should be until we have like freshman English, and they have like different levels of proficiency. And I have the writing sample from the most advanced students, so you can check if they're the advanced students, this might be their level. For the undergrad, so like I have 4 writing samples, you can look through it and see if you can help them to think about how to do different revisions. So like for Amy's sample, I will probably talk more about some of the spelling, the word choice, the grammar, the transition, like the last 2 sentences, I feel like there's like a transition, so this might be something that I will probably work with her. And for Ben, I will probably talk more about spelling, word choice, transition as well. And for Cindy, like here, this is more like a transfer from Mandarin. So this might be something that I'm going to talk about. And for David's example, this is really short compared to others, so I'll probably help him to expand the idea. So these are just some samples for you to think about what are something that you might be able to work on, but unfortunately we don't have time to do that. And for the self-directed training on the last page of your handout, so we don't have time for this as well, but these are the resources that we feel like it could be useful for your tutoring session, so feel free to check those websites and also YouTube videos if you want to learn more about one-on-one teaching or academic writing tutoring. And yep, that's pretty much for our tutoring sessions. So any questions or concerns so far?